Hello, this is Lynn Gaines, the statewide director for Play Space and Volunteer Services at Horizons for Homeless Children. We are so happy that you could take some time today to join us for our Empowering Play virtual training, brought to you by Horizons for Homeless Children and the Boston Children's Museum. We at Horizons are so grateful to all of our volunteers across the state who dedicate their time to bring meaningful play experiences to children each week in the programs that you are assigned to. Our work could not be done without your support and commitment. We hope you enjoy this training and take some time to reflect on your own experiences with play and find some new and inspiring ways to engage with the children on your play space shift.
Hi, my name is Robin Meisner, and I work at Boston Children's Museum. Today, in this training, we're going to think together about what play is and why it matters so much for young children, and we're going to explore some of the ways to support children in their play. You might wonder where this is all coming from. So since 2022, the Horizons Play Space staff and a team from Boston Children's Museum have joined together to create resources, programs, and trainings to support play. Here's what we've done. We developed a set of tip sheets and kits for families experiencing homelessness. And we piloted playgroups and drop-in programming in shelter settings, both in the shelters themselves and in some of the hotel-based shelters. And we created videos for parents and caregivers with ideas of ways to get started playing. And also, we created a series of trainings and led them for staff and volunteers at both the museum and Horizons. So, what we wanted to do today is to be able to share some of the aspects of that training with you. You won't get to play with shaving cream unless you pull it from your own house, but we do recommend it. Shaving cream is fun. Over the course of the next little bit, you're going to hear from 3 different staff members at the Children's Museum. Myself, I'm the Senior Director of Exhibits and Research, and I'm going to share with you a little bit of thinking about our own play, our individual play, and reflecting on our play memories. Then we'll meet Saki Iwamoto, who is the Senior Educator of Child Development and Accessibility. And Saki's going to talk with you about what play is and why it matters so much for working with the children in Horizons Play Spaces. And then we're going to meet Alyssa Jordan, who's the Senior Manager of STEAM Curriculum. And Alyssa is going to do some thinking with all of us using some videos that families took for us about ways to engage and play with infants, toddlers, and preschoolers. So first, I'm going to take you through reflecting on some play memories. What we would love you to do at this point is to think back on your own experiences of playing as a child. And think of one memory in particular that stands out to you. What is happening in this play memory? How do you remember feeling at this time? Why do you think this memory has stuck with you for so long? So take just a minute. We're going to play some music. And if you want, you can write or draw or just have a think about what that memory might be. Now that you've had some time to think, we're going to pull ourselves back together. And normally, if we were all together in person, we would ask you to share some of your play memories. But because we don't have you here with us today, we're going to pull together some clips of some of our colleagues at the museum sharing their play memories, just to give you a sense of what some memories people have of their play might be.
Okay, I've been asked to share a play memory, and one really comes to mind. When I was, I'd say about 10 years old, I had a really, really good friend and her sister, actually. I was very close with both of them. And we would go, over each other's houses and have all kinds of adventures. But one particular adventure stands out. She lived in this area where there were woods all around the house. And we decided one day we were just going to take off and walk through the woods and explore. And it was me and her sister. And we just kept walking and walking, and I don't even know how long we were out there, but eventually we ended up finding this kind of clearing in the trees, and it was just this massive, like, defunct train yard with actual trains still on the tracks. And I mean, tracks flooded with reeds growing out of them, but with, like, grease on the tracks. And we were climbing on the trains and exploring the tracks and the space between the trains. And I remember I slipped on some of the grease on the track, and it got all over my white Keds. I kind of fell in a puddle, and so I was wet. And I just remember being really worried that I was going to be in a lot of trouble when I got home, which I wasn't. Not that I really remember too well, but I remembered it wasn't that bad. But it was definitely a memory that stuck with me, because we just felt like we were out in the wilds.
Hi, one memory that stands out for me playing as a child is about climbing some amazing, curvy, beautiful trees around a lake near my house where I grew up. What I remember happening was going to the park with my brothers, and there were these trees. They're really curvy and swervy and twisty, not super high, but they would kind of arch up like this and go over maybe 10 or 15 feet and come back down to the ground. And then you could kind of climb from one to the next one, and it would go up again like that and come back down to the ground. And I'm the youngest of three brothers, and I think this is a game that my brothers probably created before me. But we named these different trees after different things in the city. So there was like the Golden Gate Bridge, and there was the Oakland Bay Bridge. And some of them were higher and like more tricky to climb and more scary to climb. And my brothers, who were older than me, were really good at scampering over these trees and climbing from one to the next. And I was always a little scared of it. But I remember, at a certain point being able to climb up these trees, and maybe not climb up the hardest, longest, highest, scariest ones. But what I remember feeling is some sense of accomplishment and belonging. Like, I was now part of the game. And why this memory stands out for me, or why it stuck with me all this time, I think it has something to do with the connection that I feel with important people, my family, my brothers. It also connects me to a really specific place where I grew up. I don't live there anymore, but I have, I love that place where I'm from. And this memory really connects me at a very young age to that place. And also I feel like it connects me to a really specific time in that place, partly because those exact trees are not there anymore. There's other trees like it. And I remember walking around there with my own children when they were small, and, climbing with them on those trees and carrying on that memory into the present.
My play memory is that I used to love playing with stuffed animals, and I actually still have some. And I would often pretend that they are the students and I'm the teacher. So I would just kind of line them up and teach them whatever. But the funny thing is that I would also give them homework. But of course, this is all pretend. They are not going to do homework. They're stuffed animals. So I had to do all the homework for them.
Now that we've had a chance to hear a few play memories, and for you to have thought of your own play memory, I want you to think a little bit about some of the qualities of your own play memory. So at this point, think specifically about the memory that you thought of. And we're going to go through a series of qualities, and I'd love for you to think about whether your play memory has that in it or where it falls within these things. So the first one is, were you playing alone or with other children? Were there any adults in your play memory? or were there no adults? Were you playing outside or were you playing inside? Were you playing with a toy? By toy, what I mean is something that you would buy at the store, whether it is a ball or a doll or a car, truck, plane, anything that you'd buy at the store. So were you playing with a toy? Were you playing with everyday or natural materials? So things like that might be pine cones and leaves and dirt and water, or could be like a cup or a spoon or a pot, pan, something like that. Were there any screens in your memory? Any screens at all? Computer screens, television screens, phones, anything like that. What about rules? Were there any rules to your play? And was it rules that somebody else made up or rules that you made yourself or that maybe some other children made? Were you messing around? So by that we mean just sort of like that, I don't know, fun, random stuff that kids do, just trying things out. So maybe no rules, maybe a little bit more messiness to your play. Did you take any risks? And by risks, these could be anything from physical to social risks or emotional risks. Did you take a risk in how you were playing or what you were doing in your play or who you were playing with? Were you focused? So were you thinking really hard or focused on what you were doing, paying so much attention that maybe you forgot about the things around you? Was anything in your play challenging? So was there anything that was hard for you, either physically or socially or emotionally? And was it fun? Did you enjoy what you were doing? And maybe you weren't like laughing and giggling and screaming with delight, but was it fun for you? So the reason that we asked you to think about all of these things is because if we were all together, we would do a tally and we would go across the room and think about how many people were thinking about play memories that were focused on everyday materials or inside or outside. We look across the room to see the similarities and differences in our play, not because there's a right way or a wrong way to play, but because we're interested in patterns. And we have done this training or this activity across trainings for years and years and years, and done it with hundreds of people. And there are a few patterns that we've seen emerge that are really interesting to us. On the whole, what we hear from people is that they're remembering play where they're playing either by themselves or with other children. It is very rare for people to share memories that they have adults in, where they were playing with adults. It might be that there's an adult like sitting off to the side or watching them on the beach or something like that, but it's rare for the adult to be part of the play. Often, the play memories that we hear tend to be either outside or inside, someplace hidden away from the adults, whether it's in a room or in a basement or an attic or under a table, just someplace away from the adults in our lives as children. We often hear things about natural and everyday materials, but also toys. It's a real mix. And what often happens is that people say they're taking risks, they're focused, there is some sort of challenge, and it was fun. These things don't have to be opposite from each other. What is very interesting to us is that across all of the play memories that we hear, it is very, very rare. We could count on one hand the number of times that people, no matter their age, talk about a play memory that has to do with a screen. So those sticky play memories tend not to be the things that you're doing when you're sitting in front of a screen playing a video game, but it's about something that you're doing either on your own or with others out in the world. And that is something that's really interesting to us. One of the reasons that we wanted you to think about these memories is because we wanted to pull you back into the idea of play. What does play feel like to you? And how was it important to you? What were you doing? And what did it do for you as a child? So at this point, I'm going to pass you on to my colleague, Saki, who's going to talk with you a little bit about what play is, and why it's so important for children, and a little bit about what role we as adults might be able to play in supporting children in their play.
Thank you, Robin. So we ask you to think of your play memory without telling you what play is. But you probably had an idea for what play is for you, and that's great. But I want to spend a little bit of time diving deeper into what play is so we can best support children while playing. So then what is play? It can be difficult to define, but our child said it perfectly, which is play is what I do when everyone else has stopped telling me what to do. Play is not something anyone is forced to do. Play is something children do because they want to, and they engage in a way that works for them. And play can be actually serious at times, and can be frustrating too, but it usually results in a joyful experience. The way people play is shaped by many different factors. It can be your location, whether you live in a city or rural area, or your family style, who you played with, or some people may spend more time playing alone. Your social economic status often has some impact in the way you play. And just who you are as a person, such as whether you're naturally more energetic or quieter, informs the way you play. And the types of cultures that you're part of also play a big role as well. When we observe children and their families, it's important to be mindful of these factors because people come from all sorts of different backgrounds and may be playing in ways that are different from your own. Now I want you to take a moment to reflect back on your play memory and what might have influenced the way you played. Now let's talk about why play is important. Play has a lot of benefits for children, and it is a great way in for us, the adults, to support children and their families. Children learn and develop through play, and they're not forced to do so, so it is a strength-based opportunity. And just by playing, children learn all these skills that are a very important part of their development. As children play, they learn about themselves and learn about how things work. And they also develop coping skills. Especially when working with families in the shelter settings, we can all remember that play is the best way for children to cope with their stress, and that's how they can strengthen their emotional well-being. And we, the adults, can enhance children's play. Although, adults can also get in the way of children's play, and mostly by telling them what to do. And if we did that, it's not play anymore. So when we play with children, we can ask ourselves these questions to make sure that we are nurturing and supporting children's play instead of directing. Are we listening to the child's interest? Do the children have choices, and what choices do they have in the play activity? And are we letting kids invite us in their play instead of forcing us into their play? It's so easy to feel that you have to be doing something while playing, but sometimes it's okay to just watch until the child invites you in. So I encourage you to think about these questions while you play with children. So now that we know things about play, we are going to observe ways adult caregivers and their children play together. Now over to you, Alyssa.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Jordan from the Boston Children's Museum. Now we're going to have some time to observe play in action. We'll do this using videos. The videos we are going to use show children of different age groups playing with an adult. While the adults featured in these videos are parents at home, the interactions you'll see could easily be happening in play space. We will watch 2 video clips. Both are very short, so I'll play each video twice. For the first viewing, I ask that you focus on the child and consider these questions. What is the child doing or trying to do? And how are they showing or telling the adult in the video what they want to do? Then I will ask you to shift your focus to the adult in the clip. How is the adult supporting the child's engagement in play? And then I will ask you to put yourself in the shoes of the adult in the video. Imagine that you are an adult playing with this child in play space. What else might you do to continue supporting this child's play? When we get to that question, I'll share some photos of children playing in play space to help you. You may want to have some paper and a pen nearby so that you can take a moment and jot down any ideas that you want to remember. As you watch the adult in the video, keep in mind that we're not asking you to make judgments on how the adult in the video is engaging. These are very short clips, so we will not get to see how the play really develops. Instead, use the video as a starting point for your own ideas. Okay, let's begin. Our first clip features a mom playing with an infant. Remember, focus on the infant for this first viewing and keep these questions in mind.
Peekaboo, I see you. Peekaboo, I see you. Hi. Peekaboo. Peekaboo, I see you. You want it? You want it? You want it? Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. Hi.
What did you notice while watching the child in this video? How was the baby engaging in play? You may have seen the baby looking at mom's face, even making eye contact, evidence that they were trying to make a connection. Baby also reached for the scarf mom was holding, showing they had interest in that new toy. And baby definitely made some interesting sounds while playing with mom, another sign of interest and connection. Now I'm going to play this clip again. This time, watch mom to see how she is supporting and encouraging the baby's engagement in this moment.
Peekaboo, I see you. Peekaboo, I see you. Hi. Peekaboo. Peekaboo, I see you. You want it? You want it? You want it? Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you. Hi.
What did you notice while watching mom this time? Mom used a scarf to initiate a game of peekaboo. By using a new toy, instead of just her hands to play the game, she introduced something new to the child's play. While playing peekaboo, you may have noticed mom covered the baby's head with the scarf. In doing this, mom was modeling a different way to play with this new toy. And maybe you also heard mom making interesting sounds to capture and keep the baby's attention. And finally, mom sat very close to the baby, maintaining eye contact and repeating back baby's growling sounds, all ways of creating connection with this child. Now put yourself in the shoes of this adult and imagine that you're playing with this baby in play space. What else might you do to support this child's play? Pause this video and take a moment to jot down any ideas you want to remember. Now we're going to try the same exercise again, but this time we'll be watching a new video that features a mom playing with a toddler. Remember, focus on the toddler for this first viewing as you keep these questions in mind.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to knock them down?
I'm gonna stop.
Okay, stomp them. Ready? Go! Yay! Woo! Nice job! Nice
Let me
stomping!
do it. Let me do it.
You want to do them again?
What did you notice while watching the child in this video? How was the toddler engaging in play? The child watched Mom intently while she stacked the cups and counted. This is a sign that the child was interested in how Mom was playing. When asked, the child told Mom how they wanted to play, in this case, stomping the stack of cups. This child was engaged in the moment and ready to follow their own interests. Stomping the cups was a unique way to knock them down. This demonstrates that the child had a creative idea for how to play and was ready to take some healthy risks. And the child asking to stomp the cups again shows that they were interested in repeating and practicing this type of play, which demonstrates a level of persistence. Now I'll play this clip one last time. Again, focus on Mom to see how she supports this child's play.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to knock them down?
I'm going to stop.
Okay, stomp them. Ready? Go! Yay! Woo! Nice job! Nice stomping!
Let me do it. Let me do it.
You want to do them again?
Again.
Okay.
So what did Mom do to encourage and support engagement this time? Mom sitting on the floor at the child's level showed that she was invested in being part of this play moment. She showed the toddler how to stack the cups and counted as she did this, modeling one way to play with this toy. You may have heard Mom suggest that the child knock the cups down, which was an invitation for the child to join in the play. But when the child said they wanted to stomp the cups, Mom followed the toddler's lead, showing that she valued their idea, which promotes independence and self-confidence. And maybe you noticed that Mom cheered and clapped for the child, even when they missed the cups on the first stomping attempt. Encouraging a child's effort like this also promotes confidence and persistence. Now, again, put yourself in the shoes of this adult and imagine that you are playing with this toddler in play space. What else might you do to support this child's play? Pause this video and take a moment to jot down any ideas you want to remember. Together, we have thought carefully about supporting the play of infants and toddlers. You can do something similar for the older children you see in play space, the preschoolers and any school-aged children. How do they like to play? And what are some ways you found to be successful in supporting them? Take a moment to think about these children and see what ideas you can come up with. Hopefully, observing some moments of play and action has helped you consider your role as an adult supporting children while they're having fun in play space. We'll leave you with a few additional ideas you may want to incorporate into your own list.
If you're interested in learning more about play, please check out these resources here at the Boston Children's Museum or reach out to our team at palsupport@horizonschildren.org. Thanks again for playing.